You've been president, what, 3 months now? So the outside, the fans they pick up the newspaper and everybody's waiting to see who you're going to sign. They talk about possible quarterbacks. But as an organization, have you been able to make any changes that would be noticeable in your first 3 months as president of this organization?
Well, we hired a new head coach, and obviously that was the standard for how we went into the new era and creating our new legacy. So bringing in the new coach, Doug Marrone, the coaching staff, continue to empower people within our organization. As I said on January 1st, we want to be a forward-thinking, progressive, attacking organization in everything we do, and I think we've laid the foundation to do that.
You brought up the word analytics, which has been analyzed
Yes.
over and over. What have you done to move in that direction more maybe than you had been last year at this time?
Well, it's one of the things that is a part of building into the future. And it's an overused word, analytics, but we've already incorporated that into a lot of things that we do now. What I said that day is that we wanted to try to create a robust analytics department as we continue to grow this organization, and we plan on doing that. We're going to take a very methodical, thoughtful approach to doing that, but that'll never come in place of scouting or anything along those lines where I think people sometimes view that to what they view that to be. Analytics is another layer of your operation to provide as much information as possible to make informed decisions.
I've heard good things about your coaching staff, Doug Marrone, and of course I've talked to some players who've had meetings with him, and you expect them to say positive things at this stage of the game, especially before camp. But everybody seems to be impressed with him. But the one thing that really stands out, and not to take the attention away from Coach Marrone, but Nathaniel Hackett, I'm just amazed at how many current and former players who have been in his company are not just impressed with him, but just expect great things from what, the term that was used yesterday by a former player was brilliant. That's a lot of pressure on a young man, but I'm told he's got several master's degrees. This kid is this kid could be a brain surgeon if he didn't want to be in football.
I think actually he did go to college to become a neurosurgeon and ended up following his father's footsteps in the coaching profession. But I was with Nathaniel 4 years ago when he was on Coach Duran's staff. He was a quality control coach, worked very closely with Alex Van Pelt, and you could see what Nathaniel was all about back then, and his intensity, his enthusiasm, what he brings to the table. And he did great things with Coach Marrone at Syracuse and bring that program really from the bottom of Division I to beyond respectability, going to 2 bowl games in 4 years. They had a very explosive offense. Nathaniel was really at the controls of that with Coach Marrone. So we're excited to have Nathaniel with Coach Marrone and Mike Pettin on the defensive side of the ball, who brings an attacking, aggressive style to our defense. And Coach Marrone's done a heck of a job putting his staff together.
What are the reasonable expectations for this brand new staff this first year?
Well, we go into everything, Bob, with the focus on winning. I mean, it's the only reason you're in this business. So, you don't put numbers on that, but obviously we want to continue to build upon what we've accomplished over the last 3 years with our roster. Buddy's done a heck of a job putting that together along with his staff, and build towards getting back to where we all want to go, and that's to the playoffs. So, our focus is clearly on trying to get to the second season.
Draft day. I know you have a strategy. I know you're not going to tell us exactly the strategy, but should we expect a quarterback at a fairly high pick?
I would expect that Buddy Nix will take the best player available on every pick that we make, and that's Buddy's MO. He has done this for a long time. He's built a championship roster out in San Diego. He's done a heck of a job building our roster, so I think he will stay to what he's done very well at over his career.
So if the best player on the board when your draft pick comes up is a quarterback, it would be a quarterback.
I'm going to let the draft speak for itself.
Why did I expect those answers? Okay, you're president of the Buffalo Bills. You've been in this organization a long time. I know we have shared comments about, our pal John Butler and how proud he would be of you, and I'm sure he is proud of you today. Russ, was this always your goal when you got into this organization to be at the top of the food chain, or Did you really have that mindset when you came in here?
Well, the goal was to eventually be a team president. That was my goal when I entered into this business. Never dreamt that it would happen in my home region. I never dreamt that we'd have training camp at my alma mater. And it's all about people, Bob. You know, I've been blessed and very fortunate to be around people like John Butler and so many people that have paved the way to help me be in this position. Obviously, it stops and starts with Mr. Wilson, but people like Jeff Lippman and everyone that has been associated with this organization over time, that's what makes it so fulfilling. And I think about John every day. I had a chance to spend time with his wife Alice and his daughter Andrea at the league meeting out in Arizona where they've settled, and it's pretty emotional because John is really was a father figure to me and a mentor in a lot of ways.
And I'm sure there was a lot of funny stories told.
A lot of funny stories. Bruce Allen, who's the general manager of the Redskins and John's best friend, was with us, and every time we're together there's always stories about John and some of his antics. But he was one of the best that's ever held the general manager chair, and I learned so much from him.
The one thing that seems to be behind you, and I guess the question is it completely behind you, and that is the stadium lease and the renovations and the passing of the referendums for the money. Is that all completely done now?
We've got another step to go, but we're pretty much there. It's been a lot of work over the last year and a half, and really a partnership between the county, the state, and the Bills and the National Football League. A lot of moving parts to it, but as we stood here in late December with the county executive and with the governor and lieutenant governor, I think we're in a very good position to keep this franchise on solid footing for decades to come, and this renovation will play a huge role in that.